Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to do a little sit down, story time, chit chat, and just talk to you guys about a couple of the really freaky paranormal things that I experience at my boyfriend's house. Yeah, if you guys are interested in hearing all the freaky things that I see in the middle of the night, then just keep on watching this video. So this is gonna freak me out quite a bit, but I guess we'll just jump right in. Yeah, my boyfriend's house is quite busy and quite active. There's lots of stuff going on there that his family experiences on the daily. Not really my place to talk about what they experience, but I'll just talk about what I experience. The first thing is his laundry room creeps me out. And the thing that confuses me is that it doesn't always creep me out. Like, sometimes I can't even look in his laundry room. Like, I just, like, my brain will just, like, I'll walk past like this. I'm like, I can't look in there right now. Sometimes I walk in and it's totally fine. But even when the light's on, sometimes I'm just like, I feel nauseous, I feel really sick, and I just, like, I don't want to even go in there or even look sometimes, which really freaks me out. And his laundry room is right here and his bedroom is right here. So his door is right here, and then just around the corner is the laundry room right there. So I'm by there quite often. Like, I'll walk in the house and you can definitely sense that there's something going on in the house. It's not bad, like, I don't think it's anything malicious at all. I don't really get that vibe. I just sort of get the vibe that there's just like spirits in the house, which is like quite normal. They might be attached to something in the house. They might be, you know, just coming in and out because their resting places in the cemeteries down the street. Usually I'm like okay until about midnight, and then I get a little bit freaked out and my hands start to get like sweaty and my heart races, and I get a little bit freaked out, I guess, around midnight usually when I'm there. And I'm okay if he's awake, but if he goes to sleep and I'm on my own, then I get a little bit more panicky. So I've seen some really, really strange things in his room at night, which is terrifying. So whenever his door is open, usually in the middle of the night, I'll see like I hate this. Usually I'll see like a figure standing in the doorway, just like a shadowy, dark, shadowy figure, and it doesn't scare me. It's just one of those things where I sort of like look, and I'll look at it for a couple seconds and then I'll blink and it's gone. Sometimes it stays there. Sometimes I'll look at it and I'll just sort of stare it down and it's looking at me and I'm looking at it and we're just having a moment. I'm just kind of like, okay. So sometimes I see that. Sometimes, and I don't actually think that I've told my boyfriend this before, but sometimes I'll see that figure oh, I hate this. Ew. So like his door is right here and his bed is right here, and there's like a dresser right here, and there's like a little pathway right there to over here on this side of the room. And sometimes I'll see the figure like walk in the room and then like walk past the bed like that, and then it'll just like disappear into nothing, which is terrifying. And I'll kind of just like be laying there with the blankets up like here, like oh, and I'll just like watch it and it'll just be like floating by, and it's not like looking at me, it's not like trying to scare me, it's just there, and then all of a sudden it just like disperses into nothing. And they say there's like symptoms when something supernatural is around, where your like palms get sweaty and your heart races, and sometimes you can feel like you're suffocating, and so oftentimes I'll like feel that in the middle of the night. And so yeah, so like I felt those things when this thing like walks along the edge of the bed. Ooh, gross. So that's happened a few times, and then oftentimes I'll just sort of see like a shadowy figure on this side of the room. So the doorway is right over here, and there's this whole area on over here on this side of the bed, and there's like lots of stuff over here, like fishing gear and a couple guitars and just stuff. And so I'll see like a shadowy figure over there standing in the corner. It's weird because it doesn't scare me. I just sort of acknowledge it, and then I'm like, okay, well, it's there. But like looking back, I'm always terrified because I'm like, oh, not in the moment. But yeah, so I'll see like that shadowy figure, and I think they're two different figures, the one that stands in the doorway and that sometimes will walk in, and the other figure that's like over there. They might be the same, but they feel different. I don't really know. In terms of like I don't want to say my abilities, I'm not a psychic, I just, in terms of like my sensitivity, maybe that's a better word, I don't really like seeing things. I limit myself to seeing things because that scares me. I will like feel it more. And so that leads me into my next thing, where sometimes there will be something in his closet, which I think it's tied to the laundry room, and maybe it like comes through the wall or something, or it's just like in that general area and I know it's there, and all of a sudden in the middle of the night I will need to go under the blankets and shut my eyes, and I just am there for, I don't know, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes, an hour, depending on how long. I won't be able to open my eyes. Sometimes I have to go under the blanket, sometimes I don't, but sometimes like I'll just feel like, oh my god, if I open my eyes right now, I'm going to be absolutely terrified and something's there and I can't look. I get that feeling quite often, and I just shut my eyes and I just force myself to keep them closed. Oh, I hate this. I'll just like force myself to keep them closed, or to like stay under the blankets and shut my eyes, and I just like won't like look because I know I'm gonna be terrified. And that feeling usually goes away, and when it goes away I can like look around the room again and everything's fine. But I don't want to say every time I'm there, but every second time probably something like that happens, and then I just like I have to just nope, no thanks. And sometimes I actually have to ask it to leave me alone, because there's a really weird banging noise and I know that it's the neighbors doing stuff. But ew. Sometimes I have to ask it to leave me alone. And it does, usually, because I'm just like, you know what, my white light doesn't need this negativity right now. So I just make sure that I'm not like scared and that I'm on a high vibration, and usually it will just go away. The other thing that I see, which I haven't seen in quite some time, but I have seen it a few times, is there is on the opposite side of the bed, so like the wall is right here and I'll sleep right here, and the bed goes down like that, and then there's like that little pathway that I was talking about where the figure walks sometimes, and then there's a dresser and a big mirror. So I can see myself in the mirror basically when I'm sleeping, and a few times I've actually seen, I don't know if it's an orb or an apparition or what it is, but I've seen like a white, it's not white, it's white, but it's not like, it's like kind of translucent-y white, and I'll just see this like shape sort of just like float. I'll just like see it float like above me, but I'll see it in the mirror. When I look up, it's not there, but when I'll see it in the mirror, which is like really freaky. And like mirrors are one of my, not my biggest fears, I know they hold a lot of, there's a mirror right here, like ew. I'm not scared of them, but I just know that they hold a lot of power, and that they hold a lot of things that we don't necessarily see with our own eyes physically, but they contain like lots of energy. So I've seen that a few times, and it just sort of like bubbles up and goes around, and I see it, I'm like, yep, that is, I could reach up and touch it right now, but I look up and there's nothing there. So yeah, so that's another thing that I've seen. Yeah, so that is basically everything the freaky that happens in my boyfriend's house at night that I experience. I got really freaked out, I think not the last time I stayed there, but like 2 times ago, and then there was like a good like solid 3 months where I just didn't go into the house because I was so terrified, and it was the same feeling where like I couldn't open my eyes. I was so scared, and I was like that for hours all night, and I just felt really terrorized. So I just didn't go back. But now I just make sure that I meditate, or just, you know, take a couple deep breaths and make sure that my vibration is nice and high before I go in. And I know that nothing's like going to hurt me. You know, it's just good to make sure that you're on a high vibration so that nothing tries to mess with you. Yeah, so anyways, that is it for today's video. If you guys like these paranormal chit-chat story time rambly videos, let me know. They're fun to talk about even though I freak myself out. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I've got a whole lot of new content coming your guys' way very, very soon, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.